What exactly is a sensor? By definition, it's a device that detects physical inputs and converts them into readable digital signals. They are the eyes and ears of our smart tech. Ever wonder how sensors work? They detect physical inputs like heat or light and convert them into electrical signals. A processor then reads this data to give us useful information. Sensors detect changes in the world. Temperature sensors measure heat. Proximity sensors detect nearby objects. And light sensors measure brightness.
Industrial sensors are the eyes and ears of automation. Proximity sensors detect objects without any physical contact, while temperature sensors monitor fluids, sending real-time data to the cloud for maximum efficiency.
Next up in our sensor series, let's look at contact. They need physical contact to operate. Think of a limit switch or the keys on your keyboard. When an object pushes them, they send a signal. Follow for more sensor breakdowns.
Non-contact sensors detect objects without any physical touch. They use waves like light, sound, or magnetism. Perfect for automation.
How do they work? The coil generates an electromagnetic field. Metallic targets induce eddy currents, reducing the field and triggering the output.
Inductive sensors detect metal objects. They produce an oscillating magnetic field. Metal creates eddy currents, triggering the output. Inductive proximity sensors are essential for detecting metal targets without physical contact in automated systems. They are durable, high-speed, and reliable for modern industrial applications. Capacitive proximity sensors detect both metallic and non-metallic targets. They operate by generating an electrostatic field from the sensor detector, producing an output signal. Capacitive sensors detect both metal and non-metals. Metals are conductive, creating a high capacitance and a large, rapid signal change. Non-metals act as insulate. That's how it sees both. These sensors detect both metallic and non-metallic targets. They operate by sensing a change in electrical capacitance. Photoelectric sensors use light to detect objects. It works with a beam and a receiver. When an object enters, interruption signals the sensor, and that is how it detects presence without contact. Learn the 3 types of photoelectric sensors. Through beam uses a separate transmitter and receiver. Retroreflective bounces light off a reflector. Diffuse detects light bouncing directly off the object. Photoelectric sensors use light to detect objects. As an object passes, it breaks the beam. This sends a signal to count or stop the line. Perfect for automated systems. Ultrasonic sensors measure distance. They emit a high-frequency sound wave. This wave travels, hits an object, and bounces back. By measuring the travel time, it calculates the distance.
Ultrasonic sensors measure distance. They emit a sound wave and time how long it takes to bounce back from an object. Then, they calculate the distance instantly.
Ultrasonic sensors measure distance by using sound waves. They are used for level sensing in tanks and obstacle detection in robotics. Magnetic sensors detect magnetic fields. As a magnet approaches, its field passes through the sensor. This deflects the internal flow of electrons, creating a voltage signal that says, "Object detected." Detect magnetic fields. The reed switch uses a magnet to physically bring 2 contacts together. Hall effect sensors are different. They use a magnetic field to deflect current and generate voltage.
Magnetic sensors are vital in automation. They detect position without any physical contact, ensuring precise control of robotic arms and machinery, even in the harshest industrial environments.
A limit switch has 3 main parts: the actuator, operating mechanism, and electrical contacts. When an object hits the actuator, it interprets that physical motion to open or close an electrical circuit. A limit switch is a simple but critical device. When an object makes contact with the actuator, it breaks or makes an electrical connection. This limits machine travel. Limit switches are everywhere. They detect when an object arrives, limiting machine movement automatically, making them perfect for safety and positioning. This is a thermocouple, a common temperature sensor. It joins 2 different metals at one end. Heating this junction creates a small voltage. This is the Seebeck effect. An RTD is a temperature sensor. As heat increases, its resistance grows. This provides highly precise readings. This is a thermistor, a temperature-dependent resistor. When heated, its material releases more charge carriers. This allows more current to flow, which rapidly lowers its electrical resistance. Temperature sensors are everywhere. From digital thermometers reading your health, to smart thermostats controlling your home, and monitoring critical industrial machines.
Ever wonder how pressure sensors work? It all starts with a tiny diaphragm. Applied pressure causes it to bend. This bending changes its electrical resistance, and that's converted into a readable measurement.
Pressure sensors are vital in modern tech. Capacitive sensors measure changes in electrical capacitance. Piezoresistive types detect changing resistance in a material. Each serves a unique purpose. Where do we use pressure sensors? They are inside your smartphone, making touchscreens precise. In medicine, they monitor blood pressure and save lives. And in cars, they optimize engine performance.
Level sensors detect the level of liquids, fluids. Point level sensors has reached a substance's specific height. Continuous sensors measure level with time data, essential for countless industries.
Floating level sensors are simple and reliable. A float with an internal magnet on the liquid surface. As it moves, the magnet opens or closes sealed switch. This gives you highly accurate point level detection. Ultrasonic level sensors measure liquid levels. They emit high-frequency sound waves. The sensor detects the reflected echo and calculates the exact distance. Flow sensors measure the rate of fluid. As fluid moves, it turns an internal rotor. The speed corresponds to the flow rate, providing accurate data instantly. Let's explore flow sensors. Turbine sensors use a spinning rotor. Ultrasonic types use sound waves. Magnetic sensors use fields. Which one fits your needs? Flow sensors are vital. They measure precise liquid and gas flow. From critical medical ventilators to detecting leaks in smart homes, they ensure safety and efficiency everywhere.
Ever wonder how your phone measures humidity? Inside is a tiny capacitive sensor. It uses a polymer layer that absorbs water vapor. This changes its ability to store electricity, calculating the exact humidity.
Let's explore humidity sensors. Capacitive sensors measure change in electrical fields. Resistive sensors track electrical flow. Both are vital for tech.
Humidity sensors measure moisture in the air. They control smart home climate for your comfort and optimize greenhouses for perfect plant growth.
Gas sensors are vital for our safety. Inside, a heated sensing element interacts with gas molecules. This interaction changes the electrical resistance, triggering an alarm to warn us of danger.
Gas sensors are vital for monitoring air quality and safety. They detect target gases through a heated. This reaction causes a change in electrical resistance, triggers an alarm when gas levels become unsafe.
A load cell converts force into a measurable signal. Under weight, its internal strain gauge deforms. This change in shape alters the electrical resistance, and that is precisely measured as weight. A strain gauge measures the deformation of an object. When stretched, its resistance increases. When compressed, it decreases. This change is measured to determine the stress. Industrial weighing relies on load cells. When a weight is applied, the metal body bends. Strain gauges detect this tiny movement, convert it into a digital signal, giving you an accurate, reliable measurement.
An incremental encoder tracks motion. It uses a light beam and a slotted disc. This creates digital pulses for position. Simple, precise, and widely used. And that's how it works.
Encoders track rotation and movement. Standard ones lose their place if power fails. But absolute encoders are different. They use unique coded tracks on a disk, so they always know exactly where they are. Encoder feedback is vital. It tracks motor speed and position. This data goes to a controller for dynamic, precise motion control, perfect for robotics and automation. Ever wonder how a color sensor actually sees? It first shines a white light onto an object. The object absorbs some colors and reflects others back. The sensor filters this reflection.
Color sensors are vital for industrial sorting. They emit light to identify an object's color. Then, automated systems route them to the right place. This ensures fast and accurate quality control.
Vision sensors use a camera to capture images. They process data to make complex decisions. For example, inspecting products on a line. This delivers fast and accurate automation. Vision sensors capture light just like a camera. But they do more than take pictures. They analyze pixels to inspect products, processing edges, shapes, and colors instantly. Sensor wiring basics. PNP versus NPN. Switch the positive voltage, sourcing. NPN sensors switch the negative voltage, sinking current. Just remember, sourcing versus sinking. Let's learn the basics of sensor wiring. Two-wire sensors are simple. They share power and signal on just two lines. Three-wire sensors use a third dedicated wire. This wire sends the output signal. Sensor wiring is simple. Most use three wires: brown, blue, and black. Brown connects to positive power, and blue connects to negative. The black wire sends the output signal to your controller. NPN sensors use three wires. An object approaches the sensing field. It switches the load to negative. That is how it works. Learn how a PNP sensor works. Brown is positive, blue is negative. Detection closes the circuit. It outputs a positive signal. Golden rule of industrial automation. Opposites attract. If your PLC input is a sink, if your PLC input is a source, you must PNP sensor. Mix them up and your circuit simply won't. Choosing the right sensor is critical. First, consider the required accuracy. Next, evaluate the sensing range. Finally, account for environmental conditions. Choosing the right sensors is critical for success. For extreme heat, use a thermocouple. For object detection, use a proximity sensor. Always consider accuracy, range, and cost.
Choosing the right sensors can be tricky. A common mistake is ignoring the environment. Don't overspecify and overspend. Stick to your requirements.